Did you feel instant pain when upon impact?
When the impact happened, I believe, I say I believe because I do recall hearing my neck break. I can't say per se it was my neck because everything was happening so fast, but I knew that something broke. I was able to hear it. It sounded more like a break than a collision. So once I realized I couldn't do much with my body, I didn't really think about the fact that I might be paralyzed, but there was some sense of it. There wasn't any pain at all.
No pain.
No pain whatsoever.
So you were conscious after the impact, but you were a little jarred and
I wouldn't even say I was jarred so much. It happened very quick. You know, the actual collision happened very fast. But once I realized that I had no body control anymore, I was wide awake. I didn't seem to have any trouble seeing or thinking. I was very clear, and time had seemed to slow down quite a bit. It felt like the 15 or 20 seconds that I had before seeing the ground, it seemed to last forever. And I was quite clear. Everything I was seeing just was visuals of friends and just things that made me happy in my life in general. But for the most part, right away, I just tried to save myself. That was all I could do. I tried to get myself back to belly to earth position, which couldn't happen because I didn't have complete control of my arms. Once I realized this, there was nothing else I could do besides relax. I knew that my reserve parachute was going to open up, but because of the position I was falling, and I was falling on my back towards the earth on a horizontal plane, which led me to believe I was going to get wrapped up inside my parachute, just because of the way I was falling. So I had pretty much come to the assumption in that short amount of time that I wasn't going to make it. And I pretty much just had let go. I really just took a breath and let go. I was just waiting to hit the ground. My parachute opened right after that thought, and then I had another obstacle to face, which was the ground coming up. But I remember everything clearly. If you can see in the footage, I threw my right arm up in order to try to reach the brake toggles. Hopefully I was trying to catch both, maybe with some ability to grab the brakes, slow myself down. I didn't have the ability to do that. My right arm got stuck up between the risers. Because of that, my right hip and my right side of my body was up a little higher, and it caused my parachute to turn left, almost a 360-degree turn, which actually caused me to turn and aim right towards the pavement of the runway. As soon as I hit the runway, I just had this thought in my head that I was already limp, and there was really nothing I could do. I just watched it, and once I hit, I really don't remember anything after that. You can hear the screaming and stuff like this, but I don't remember any of it happening.
So you kind of just felt like you were just a spectator of your own life.
Absolutely, 100%. That's all I was. From the moment I got hit, I was watching a video of the end of my life, pretty much.
Maybe could we do that one again? Maybe you could say, like, basically, I went from
I don't even try to put it from the point of collision to.
Yeah, just say, I went, in a moment of 30 seconds or a minute, I went from having, full control, trying to do technical dives, skydives, to being a spectator of my own life or death, because at the time you did think you were going to die, so.
Okay. Well, let me just think about that for a second. If that's
Maybe begin it with like, in a matter of 30 seconds, the dive went from, a technical, if you can have a name for the dive.
Okay, yeah, I think I got an idea. Well, I would say in a matter of a short amount of time, less than a minute, I went from a very serious situation and also fun situation of doing what I love, what my passion was, and what my goals were as far as teaching my friend to gain some more knowledge in skydiving, to very abruptly watching a very wide and broad view of my past and my upcoming future, which was the end of my life. That all seemed to happen in a very fast but long short film before I hit the ground, and I really don't remember anything after that.
So tell us what was, I mean, you already touched on it a little bit, but I'd like to hear a little more about like what was going on in your mind right after the impact. I mean, you go from trying to stay on your belly, right? You're trying to stay on your belly to then realizing that even if your chute does open, or tell us, at first you thought, okay, I'm paralyzed, I can't move. Then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to position myself to my belly, to slow it so I can, and then you realize, well, then you realize, okay, I know my immersion chute's going to open, but then you realize that if it does open, it's probably I'm going to get tangled in the position I'm in.
I'll explain the visual for everybody. Yeah. Pretty much what happened was after the moment of the impact, right away, I assumed something bad had happened. I tried to move my body around, and I could tell that I was falling on my back due to the fact that I could only see blue, which was the sky. Once I realized this, the first thing I tried to do, knowing that I still had a few thousand feet to go, was try to attempt to get my parachute open. The only way to do this is to position your body from my backside to my belly position towards the earth. The only way to do this is to get your arms underneath you and possibly turn your legs. Also, I didn't have any control from my chest down, so I was basically just trying to throw my shoulders, which was all I could feel left in my body. Once I realized that I couldn't throw my shoulders underneath, I could feel that I wasn't falling in a position that was safe. The next thought in my head was my emergency parachute is going to open. But right away I could see the parachute wasn't going to open. In my eyes, the visualization I had in my head was the parachute wrapping around me. Sorry. The visual I had in my head was the parachute wrapping around me after it opened, and therefore I didn't feel that I was actually going to survive it, even if it had. I probably missed a few parts in the middle there, but...
That's fine. I'll be asking questions similar, so we'll pick it up on. How fast were you traveling? How fast do you think you were traveling when you made impact?
Oh, do you want me to answer as if I'm answering a question?
Yeah, try to include that too.
The speed that my student and I were traveling was probably around between 155 and 165 miles per hour. There was a point where he sped up where it might have changed from 165 to about 175. And then it could be anywhere between 155 and 175 on an average free fly jump. So
let's try that with I was probably traveling at 165 when I hit my friend or my fellow skydiver.
I would say that my friend and I were traveling at approximately 165 miles per hour when we collided.
I know you touched on it, but so you thought you were going to die?
I was sure, yeah. There was no question. Okay. I would say that I was definitely sure I was not going to survive this accident.
Describe for us maybe the landing. It looked like on there that you kind of, you weren't supposed to hit the concrete, the pavement, right? And it was because you did the 360 when it opened that you made impact with the landing, with the concrete. So now not only do you have to worry about, landing without any control of your limbs, but you also have to worry about doing it on concrete instead of a softer ground.